Good afternoon and welcome back. You're watching World News and I'm your host, Klaudia Czerwińska. Ahead of a meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in Kyiv on Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy voiced concerns that Russia is trying to delay any possible peace talks. Rutte explained that any security guarantees for Ukraine should be backed by Europe and the United States and consist of two parts.
The Russians will try to do something else now to avoid a meeting. The issue is not just a meeting. The issue is that they don't want to end the war. A meeting is one of the elements of ending the war. It's not the entirety, just one of the elements. And since they don't want to end it, they will look for space to maneuver. That space needs to be reduced.
The first layer has to be for the Ukrainian armed forces to be as strong as possible to defend this proud country and nation going forward. And the second layer has to be the security guarantees provided by Europe and the United States. And that's what we are working on. And as we all know, the Budapest Memorandum and Minsk did not provide those security guarantees. So we clearly know what it should not be. And we are now working together, Ukraine, the Europeans, the United States, to make sure that the security guarantees are of such a level that Vladimirovich Putin, sitting in Moscow, will never, ever try to attack Ukraine again.
U.S. President Donald Trump said he was very angry at Ukraine for damaging the Druzhba pipeline during a recent drone strike on Russia's energy infrastructure. Trump was first notified of the incident in a letter from Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. In his response, Donald Trump said, "Victor, I do not like hearing this. I am very angry about it. Tell Slovakia," according to a picture of the letter published by Orbán's ruling Fidesz party. The Hungarian Prime Minister complained that, quote, just before the historic meeting between President Trump and Putin in Alaska, Ukraine carried out drone strikes on the Druzhba oil pipeline in Russian territory. The pipeline, which was restored on August 19th, was once again struck by Ukraine just 2 days later. The Druzhba pipeline supplies oil directly to Hungary from Russia, despite calls to switch providers by Kyiv's allies. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has announced the allocation of more than 4 billion euros in support for Ukraine. The announcement comes just one day before Ukraine celebrates its Independence Day.
EU solidarity with Ukraine is unwavering. Today, the EU disburses over 4 billion euro to support Ukraine. This is our commitment not only to Ukraine's recovery, but to its future as a sovereign and democratic country.
Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić is calling for dialogue with anti-government protesters. The ongoing demonstrations in the country erupted last November and have become more violent in recent weeks. In a televised address from his office in Belgrade on Friday, Vučić said he was ready to speak with representatives of students and other protesters in a televised debate.
However much I may disagree with their demands, I believe it is very important that we hear them out. I believe it is very important that we all listen to one another. I believe it is of crucial importance that we renew dialogue in our country. I have tried to listen, perhaps not always enough, and I accept that as my mistake. But I am ready, not to discuss violence on the streets, because we do not need any civil war, any conflicts, any violence. I want to discuss the future of Serbia. All of us together, because that is what is best for our country. And that is why I propose and offer a conversation and a debate on all our television channels, on all our major websites, with the legitimate representatives of their choice. When I say they, I mean the representatives of those who are organizing the blockades, from whichever movement, whomever they choose, professors, politicians or students. I am prepared to go against... No, let me rephrase that. I am prepared to enter into a conversation, into a dialogue, into a public debate with 3 or 4 of those who have different opinions. They have the right to demand this from their president, including discussions about elections and everything else.
The Ukraine-based Stratcom Center, a disinformation watchdog, has backed Poland's Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski over social media comments directed at his Hungarian counterpart Peter Szijjártó.
The Stratcom Center, which was established to tackle Russian disinformation, has taken sides in an online commentary between the foreign ministers of Poland and Hungary. It posted on Friday that the economic growth comparison between Poland and Hungary since escaping Moscow's grip makes Orbán's kleptocratic choice even more ludicrous. Since 1990, Hungary's GDP has risen 615%. Poland's GDP has risen 1,285%. Poland chose democracy and Europe. Orbán chooses Moscow. It comes after Hungary's top diplomat posted on X in the wake of a Ukrainian attack on the Druzhba pipeline, which halted Russian oil deliveries to his country. He wrote, "This is a clear attack on our energy security and another attempt to drag us into the war. It will not succeed. We stand for peace and our national interests." Sikorski had replied, "Peter, you have as much solidarity from us as we have from you."
Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz will visit Moldova next week. The purpose of their visit is to celebrate Moldova's Independence Day. During their visit, the three leaders will reaffirm their full support for Moldova's security, sovereignty, and its European path, the French president's office said in a statement on Friday. The official visit will take place on August 27th. Moldova is scheduled to hold parliamentary elections on September 28th. The country's ruling Action and Solidarity Party is seeking to maintain its majority and continue its pro-European path. The FBI has raided the private home of the former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton, reportedly searching the premises for illegally retained classified documents. Bolton was not at home at time of the search and had not been arrested. Federal authorities entered the premises of the Bolton residence in Washington, D.C. suburb on Friday at 7 a.m. local time. No details were released about the warrant issued for the search, and it's unknown whether the FBI has seized any assets. FBI Director Kash Patel wrote on X on Friday morning that, quote, "No one is above the law." A longtime conservative political operator and hardline foreign policy hawk, Bolton was the third national security advisor during the first Trump administration. He served in that role for 17 months before resigning amid policy disagreements with the president. He has since criticized Trump's foreign policy, most notably on Ukraine, where Bolton advocated a tougher stance towards Russia. In 2020, the first Trump administration unsuccessfully sought to block the publication of a book by Bolton, claiming it contained classified information. Art meets activism at Krakow's International Airport, where war-themed illustrations created by Ukrainian artists are now on display in a powerful show of solidarity. The Support Ukraine PIC exhibition doesn't just tell stories, it calls for action, raising funds for high-tech equipment for Ukraine's armed forces. Alexandra Bulenda has more from the terminal.
Behind me, in a busy corridor linking Kraków Airport and a train station that is on my right-hand side, something striking is now catching the travelers' eyes, and this time it is art. Now, dozens of posters, some hopeful, but others are harrowing, from the Support Ukraine PIC exhibition, a collaboration between Kraków Airport and the Ukrainian consulate here in Kraków. Mind you, now this exhibition was created by Ukrainian illustrator collective Pictoric that works reflect the reality of war, but that is not it, because now one of the posters features a QR code leading directly to a live fundraising by Andriy Sybiha, Foreign Minister of Ukraine. And to better understand the idea behind this exhibition, I asked now the Consul General of Ukraine in Kraków what the exhibition aims to achieve.
This exhibition, held here at Kraków Airport thanks to the generosity of the Balice Airport authorities, is a chance to call for global solidarity and support. The Steel Allies project is a vital part of that effort. Launched by Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha, the initiative is raising funds for ground-based robotic platforms that are saving lives, both of soldiers on the front lines and civilians near the combat zones.
The exhibition itself offers a space for reflection, right at the heart of Poland's busiest transit hubs. And now, as the war in Ukraine rages on, Ukraine is hoping that these images will not spark only reflection, but action. From Kraków for TVP World, I'm Alexandra Bulenda.
And so this was all the latest news for now. I'm Klaudia Czerwińska, but please don't go anywhere because coming up next is Don Arleth with The Bottom Line.